veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
woo! Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here with Put a Ring on It, Season 4, Episode 4, The X Factor. Hey
Yeah,
there. How you doing?
I'm doing great, doing great. Getting interested in these this new couple, which I knew they would put a new couple on. There was no way they couldn't. They had to.
Right. They absolutely had to. You are right. Because that, I don't know, that just wouldn't have, to me, it wouldn't have made sense, right?
It wouldn't have made any sense. It's
It
it's
wouldn't have
it's,
made,
it's, it's geared for three couples.
right. Yeah. And the Dr. Stacie's pointed that out, that, the group dynamic is a very important part of the therapy session for these couples, right?
hmm Right. And she also
Mhm.
pointed out that things come out and things get heated, and as this stuff comes up, a lot of people can't deal with it and they bail, which is what happened
Yeah.
with Chance and Dunbar.
Yeah, I was like, man, they couldn't take no kind of pressure. Like, what, they did like two episodes or 3 episodes, and that was it. That's the most they could do. And they're running around Instagram. I guess they've allegedly, supposedly, maybe have actually officially tied the knot. For those of you who aren't on Instagram, that's the little T for the day on them.
Mm.
What do you think their opportunity to do well in this whole process? What do you think that looks like to you? Because I'm wondering.
Well, as I said in the last podcast, we wish them well, obviously. But marriage, children, that doesn't heal the issue. That doesn't solve the problems. The problems follow you like a bad rash if you don't deal with it. So,
I think
you
Dr.
know,
Stacey was a lot more eloquent in how she said it, but yeah, she said the exact same thing. Your problems follow you wherever you go if you don't address them and begin to make changes in your mindset, right?
yeah, yeah. It's more difficult to go through a divorce than it is to just part ways prior to getting married. But people think that the marriage is going to solve all the problems, and it just doesn't.
Right. I think another thing, you're right. I think a lot of times, even whether it's men and women, I think both both genders can think that the other person will change once they're married, but no, no.
That
Uh,
never works.
no, it's you're more or less seeing the best in a person while you're dating them, if anything. Now I don't know about the living together thing. I've never done or tried that in my entire life, so I don't know anything about that process. But one thing I've noticed, I don't know if there's a statistic on this, but it's so alarming and shameful to me to see that a lot of couples that shack up, live together for multiple years and years and years, and then finally do actually legally get married. They turn around and 9 months later they're divorced. And these are people that have lived together 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I'm like, what was the point
Right.
of that? Like, ooh.
It happens quite often. Quite often.
Yes, yes, it does. Hey, Monique, thanks for coming in and moderating, our moderator extraordinaire. And Roro, good evening. Yes, everybody, thumbs up if you're in the building, thumbs up. If you're listening later on the replay, you're part of the replay team. Thumbs up, replay team. I see you're doing better now with your thumbs up. You're getting there. You're not
Got
quite
to
there, but you are getting there. Go ahead,
got
Alex.
to got to get better with the comments, though. Got to get better with the comments because
Yeah, the comments. Oh, yes. And listen, really simple, real easy. You're on your phone, you're listening, you're on the go, or your laptop or your tablet or whatever. But if you can just drop some, if you're on your phone, it's really easy to go over to purple hearts, red hearts, whatever kind of color hearts. Purple's my favorite color, but it's just a creator thing, right? But you can use purple hearts or red hearts, or just drop me a note and say, hey, drop Alex and I a note and say, hey there, I'm from and wherever you're from. We love to hear people from around the country and around the world. It's so exciting. So yeah, please do a little bit better with the commenting. We would appreciate that. Wait a minute, what are you saying? Wait, wait. She caught my attention, Monique. What are you saying? I love to shack. You have to try it out. Miss Aubrey is a saint. She's not a sinner. She's not trying that mess out.
Monique
No, ma'am.
Monique said she loved to shack. Wow.
Save on bills. You say when the gas bill go half on this and be roommates? No, no.
Half on a baby too.
Oh no. Well, that's out the question for me anyway. But I'm just saying, I'm just thinking about, like I said, I've never felt the desire to want to cohabitate. Let me say it that way. Cohabitate with the guy, because I feel like this, you're giving him so much of the wifely benefits. And what are you getting out of it? You're not getting nothing but some peen and maybe, just maybe, if you're lucky, some scrambled eggs. So nah,
And if you're really lucky, at the price of bacon, you might get some bacon if you're really lucky.
Yeah, now you know what? Nowadays, when I go, you know what? Now that might be maybe cause for reconsideration with the price of bacon, the price of steak, the price of hamburger, the price of lamb chops, pork chops.
Yeah, forget it.
Maybe I'll reconsider. No, I doubt it. I doubt it. You're a mess. You a mess. But let's go ahead and get into it. Because by the way, guys, we'll see you back here at 9. Ooh, I'm so excited. Jamie and Arena Tyler are going to be in the house from Love and Marriage DC. So can't wait for that. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. We open with the session room with Dr. Stacii and the 2 remaining couples. Dr. Stacii tells them that Dunbar and Chance have decided to leave the process. Both the couples are disappointed. However, a new couple joins them. And so Dr. Stacii says, you know what? Sometimes people, I love this comment that she made. Sometimes people are more comfortable in the discomfort. What did you think about that?
Yeah, that's true. Because in order for you to grow, you usually have to become uncomfortable in order to grow. But I think what she means by comfortable in the discomfort is the toxicity of it. And people get comfortable with toxicity and they can't function outside of toxicity. So I think that's what she really means by that. Because in order to grow and become a full human being, a lot of times you have to be uncomfortable and put yourself in uncomfortable situations in order to learn and grow.
Yeah, that's true. I think you have to try to do something a little bit different. And I think the other thing, what about accountability, Alex? What do you think about accountability?
That's a lost art form today, Aubrey. It's really a lost art form.
Yeah, but it may be, but for therapy, for the sake of therapy and what we were just talking about with growth, you have to accept accountability and take accountability for your own actions and behavior, right?
And people just not willing to do that. They want to point fingers and blame, whether it's their upbringing or former spouses or former boyfriends or former girlfriends, whatever. And nobody's taking a good, honest, hard look in the mirror and saying, I got some work to do. I got some things that I have to change. And a lot of people just don't do that, Aubrey. They just don't. It's too hard to do that. It's easy to blame and point fingers. It's hard to look at yourself.
It's hard to look at yourself. Yeah. So we welcome in Jasmine and Zay. They've been together apparently for 3 years. And interestingly enough, their first date was a trip to Cancun. Jasmine and Zay are both entrepreneurs. What do you think?
Well, I think that, the trip to Cancun is what really got her. That's really what hooked her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Get out of my head.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, because women like stuff like that. A guy taking it to Cancun on the first day. You're like, he the one, girl, he the one. So
and another thing that you're thinking is going through your head, and you telling your girl, he got ducats, he got big bucks.
Right, and you're entering the relationship on the false premises. You know what I mean? So on the false premise. So she may learn to love him over time, but she's looking at the lifestyle that he could possibly provide. Not saying she can't provide for herself because she was doing that before him, obviously. But to
Right.
have somebody who would just take you to Cancun off a whim and do these things off a whim, very attractive to a woman. But once you're in it, then you start seeing all the other frailties with this person. And then you like, what did I get myself into?
And on that note too, because not only did he take her to Cancun, but just recently she said that it was her birthday and she was excited. She saw him pull out a ring box and she was like, "Oh yeah, this is it. This is it. He's about to propose marriage to me." What does this man do? He gives her a promise ring. These folks is almost 40 years old talking about some promise ring. Like, that's for children. That's
You
for
remember?
young adults. That's for real young, like 20 somethings to do promise ring. You 40 years old. You better give me the real deal. You better give me
You,
an engagement ring.
you remember the old saying, Aubrey, never buy the milk when you can get the cow for free? That's a very old saying,
It is.
right?
It is. I always
So
hated it. Yes, I've heard of it several times. Yes.
so if you living with this man for 3 years, doing everything under the sun that a wife would do, a lover would do, a friend would do, whatever, what's the benefit in marrying you? Where's the benefit? What is he
Well,
going to get different that he's not getting right now?
right. Well, he doesn't see the benefit of it. I could enumerate the benefits to the both partners, the male and the female. But if he doesn't see you, but you're right. The bottom line, if the person you're with, if they don't see the benefit of building legacy together as a married couple under that covenant, then it's no explaining it's going to really help. It's funny. Did you catch that he has this mischievous side or this alter ego that he calls Loki?
Yeah,
He said
Loki. Yeah.
Loki drinks a lot. Like Loki will drink like 32 shots and then do and say things and look at women and flirt with women and do all kinds of things. I don't know. What do you think about that?
And not only flirt, possibly cheat too. Um,
Mm.
the thing is, Loki is a Marvel character from the Marvel universe, Avengers,
Oh,
and
okay. I
that
missed that. I missed that
that
connection.
that is Thor's the mighty Thor. That's his evil brother. Okay,
Ew.
so yeah, so Loki does a lot of mischievous, devilish, evil kind of things, behind Thor's back and so forth. And that's what he's saying when he drinks. This side of him come out. That's like Loki, which is not good. you know, it's not good because if you can't control your liquor, you liable to do anything. And is she going to continue to deal with that throughout?
That,
Because
that you,
she's been accepting it, Aubrey. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah, we're gonna put a pin in that drinking question because that's definitely coming up in my notes. That's definitely coming up again. I'm like, okay, that's something that one or both of them is struggling with, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Okay, so moving on, Ricky, Ricky who's with Kat, the other couple, the OG couple, one of
Mm-hmm.
them. Ricky talks about his date with his ex-wife. He says it went well, and they both during their conversation together, they both could see where Kat could have issues in the past because he used to sleep over. We talked about that, and they stopped doing that, and also that she used to call it any time of day or night. They stopped doing that too. So that was good.
Yeah,
Um,
setting boundaries.
setting boundaries, exactly. That's what it was called. And then Kat's date with Corey, her ex, made her think about the boundaries that she said that she should have set up front with this guy. She could have set up front with Ricky, and then also how to keep and how to build trust. So they talked about that. Moving on to Jasha and Joya. Jasha says that he and Joya talked about their future. They talked about this goal that she has, a desire that she has to have children. And they explored that a little bit more. And Joya says that she has to learn to not be so controlling. And I have to say, I can relate to that struggle.
Right.
Don't what you laughing about? What you joining in chuckling about?
No, the other young lady said the same thing. The new young lady. What's her name again? She said the same thing.
Jasmine.
Yeah, Jasmine. She has a control issue as well. So what's with these women and these controlling tendencies? I don't understand it. Is
I
that
don't
based out of
know.
fear?
I think you know what it possibly is, but it's also I think for me, I think it's also less about fear for me personally, but it's also kind of an administrative duty that I'm accustomed to, working with, my children in the past. Sometimes working with men who seem like children, you just really have to learn to just dictate and give them what they need to do, and kind of keep an eye that they get it done, if that makes sense. And I know it, may sound a little, like I said, it may sound controlling. It is what it is. At least I know it, but that's the way it is.
But controlling or not, Aubrey, he doesn't want a child, and that's a big thing for her. So, in my opinion, if they can't resolve that, they don't have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna see. We're gonna give it a chance to see what happens. You're right. Dr. Stacii says, moving on to Jasmine and Zay. Dr. Stacii says that Jasmine and Zay will be going on their first dates, and Jazz is a little nervous. Zay, of course, like being the guy that he is, he's gonna act all cool and whatnot. And he says basically, do what you do. Ricky, moving on to Ricky and Kat. Ricky wants a second date with his date Sheila, and Catherine, she's starting to get concerned. She's like, well, you said you didn't like this lady like that, but I don't know. She really doesn't understand what is it that he wants. And I'm not trying to body shame or anything, but one thing I observed, just personally, is that the two women, his ex-woman, his ex-wife, and Sheila, look drastically different than his girl Catherine. So I'm kind of a little like, maybe he does or doesn't have a type, and some people don't. Like I say, I don't really have a type. I do have preferences, but I've dated all across the board. But I just wondered, like physically, if she's his type and if he's as attracted to her, or is there something else going on with this couple?
And remember, he was reluctant to do a second date with the young lady, not because he didn't want to go, but because he didn't want to hurt Kat's feelings. And Dr. Stacii actually talked him into taking a second date because she saw that he actually liked that young lady. And that's what the issue is about. He really does like her. She's bringing something out of him that Kat maybe have not. Not saying that she's for him, but she's bringing out a certain side to him that he's very comfortable with her.
Yeah, she's fun. I think that they have a lot of fun on their dates. They seem to really relate and have fun. But then I always think like this though too. When you're with a person that you're not in a relationship with, of course they're going to be fun.
Right.
You don't have any resentment. You guys haven't built up any baggage, so of course they're going to be fun. They have nothing to lose.
The beginning is always fun. Always fun in games in the beginning.
It should be, because if it's not, like if you gotta sit up and get a whole therapist in the beginning, then no, it's probably gotta be talking about that Ready to Love. You know what I'm saying? Morgan and Tony, nah, not really.
No.
But so let's see. People pleasing. Dr. Stacii reminds them that they now have 2 rookies on and 4 OGs, and it's time. Is it time to move on, or is it time to put a ring on it? Jasmine, so we move forward in the next scene. Jasmine is in the mirror. This is the new couple. She's in the mirror putting on her beautiful red lippy as she gets ready for her date. Zay's being cool, but strangely enough, Jazz says that Zay, his rule, he has to keep a 1 drink minimum to stay sober and not get caught up. And this is, like I said, we were coming back to that drinking again. I'm like,
yeah.
Really?
It's drinking is part of their thing apparently, and even when the guys showed up, they had some shots.
We coming to that. But here's the thing, what I'm also thinking real quick. I think that too, sometimes we allow people to use drinking as a cover up for just bad behavior. Because I personally don't think that I do anything when I'm drinking that I don't do or I wouldn't do when I'm not drinking. I'm a little bit more relaxed, yes, but am I going to run up and kiss another man if I'm with a guy and I'm in a relationship? No, I'm not. But then again, I don't know too, though. I'm probably more conservative in my drinking, because I feel like really, if you're running around doing things when you're drinking, well, maybe you shouldn't drink so much. I don't know.
That's that liquid courage. And what makes it really dangerous is, first of all, you get all this bravado and you don't care what you say. You speak honest and brutal when you're drunk because you wouldn't do it sober, right? But the scariest part of it is you don't remember what you did the next day. Now that's scary.
Well, that's
That's the
somebody that
scary
got a
part.
drinking problem. I don't know. To me, you just gotta. You don't remember what you said. You got a drinking problem. I'm sorry. Just
Said
own
or said,
up to
said
it.
or did.
Yeah, said or did. Have accountability. So Jazz's new date arrives. His name is Jeremy, and he's all muscle. Ooh, just muscle, muscle, muscle with that real tight shirt on. And Zay, she notices. Zay, he notices. Jasmine, she says she likes his athletic body in her confessional. And Zay tells him that he has, like you said, he has to take a shot. Here we go again with this alcohol, but he takes a shot and they have their drink and they head on out.
Mhm.
Now we go on to in the next scene. Jasha. Jasha goes out with this lady who is very vivacious, curvy. Her name is Brittany, and she's 32. Their date, which I thought was really interesting, was a candle making event. It was a candle making date. Brittany is flirty, but Jasha he seems to be okay with it. At first, he says, well, she's a little too flirty in his confessional. But later on, after he starts drinking that wine, he starts to relax it and he's really starting to feel her vibe. What did you think
Right.
about the date?
Right, right. Well, the two dates, Jasmine and the gentleman who I refer to as Lou for Negro, because he
You silly. You silly.
because he comes in there with his little brother shirt on, you know, trying to make an impression on this young lady. And of course, we know women like muscles and things like that. So men know what to do. So whether or not she enjoyed the date, we'll get into that. But I think the candle making thing is a very, very intimate thing, particularly with the different scents and the things that go into, picking a scent and choosing a name for the scent and different things. That's a very interesting date. And he did enjoy it. He did enjoy that date.
Mm-hmm. You know why I think you would you have enjoyed a date like that?
I will
You
because it's different. It's different.
It was different, and you know what I thought about too, though? It got his senses involved with the sense of using the sense of smell. She was certainly using her touching to touch him, his beard, and in the date, and that got a little crazy. But yeah, it definitely it was very sensual, and it was different. It was something new, something very
Mhm.
different. And her conversation, I thought the two of them had good. They had good conversation.
It wasn't forced.
It wasn't forced. Britt wasn't afraid to ask Jasha about he and his woman's issues and what brought them to the process, and he explained it to her. And then she made him blush. I said, she loves his beard. She said she loves lips and beards, and she began to play in his, and you could just see him. He was blushing, and he was melting like hot chocolate.
Boundaries crossed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I wanted to ask you. I said, "Now you have a beard. Do you like
Mhm.
when a woman plays in your beard?"
I do like it. I do
Mm,
like it. But if I'm going through a process like this, the boundary would have to be set because playing in somebody's beard is a very, very intimate thing. Rubbing their face, playing in their beard, wiping food off their mouth, feeding them with your fork as the other young gentleman did, as Ricky did on his date. Those are
But
very intimate things.
they're intimate. But here's my question though to you. So you were saying about boundaries being set. Would you have set your own boundary? Are you capable of doing that, or would you have expected your woman to have to tell you every little thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question because sometimes we get caught. That's a great question, Aubrey, because sometimes we can get caught up in the moment, you know,
Uh-huh.
and there's a boundary there, but if you get caught up in the moment, you may allow some things to happen that you shouldn't allow to happen.
Mm-mm-mm. Shame, shame, shame. Jasmine and Jeremy, they chat on the next date on the other side of town. I'm sorry. Jasmine and Jeremy are chatting about his work as a trainer, club promoter. So we do find out that all that body and that muscle is because he's a personal trainer, and that's part of his business. Um, Jasmine is not impressed because her own man works in the nightlife and is around tons of sexy women. So Jeremy tells her that he wants to be a butt naked chef. Like what the heck? He wants to be a butt naked chef. Like really? Like, what? Who does? Where they do that at? Do
and,
that at?
and he wants to have a whole business surrounded around being a butt naked chef. And
That's a ATL thing. That's an ATL problem. I mean I think that's becoming the second sin city. We know that Vegas is, but I suspect that Atlanta is right there, with in a close second. So Jazz says she sees red flags all over the restaurant. But Jeremy says that if he had a woman, she could come along with him and assist. I'm like, yeah, okay, right. Does that really work? Your
that,
woman coming along to assist when somebody has paid you good money to come to her house and cook for her without your top on and whatever else is not on. I don't know, but I don't think
right.
I don't think that's gonna work.
And Jasmine said, I don't want no pubic hairs in my food. What are you doing? So,
I thought it was funny too, 'cause Jazz said she was looking around for Ashton Kutcher to jump out. Like, am I being pranked? I don't know what is wrong with these people. Jeremy, to his credit though, he's smooth and I think he has game, but I think she sees him like she's like, you know what, where's the next date? Because this guy, he's basically a carbon copy of what I already got. So
exactly. That's the thing. Why would she get involved with somebody else in the nightlife when she already has somebody in the nightlife and it's an issue for her now? So
right,
why would
right.
she do that?
Did you catch when she said, his daddy a pimp from Mississippi? I said, man, oh man, did her pimp detector go off? Cause yeah.
Mm.
And so then we go to over on the other side of town, Ricky and Sheila. Sheila with the red hair, the RN with the red hair.
The fun
He's
girl. The fun girl.
the fun girl, the fun girl. Of course she's fun. Because she ain't had to deal with his baby mother, his ex-wife. She ain't had to deal with him sleeping over at the ex-wife's house. She ain't had to deal with that. So right now she's cool with him. Okay.
Mm.
They have ease and chemistry. And like you said, Sheila offers to feed him and he accepts. I said, that's gonna be a
Mm.
problem.
Right. Right.
That's
Because
gonna be
again,
a problem.
again, boundaries crossed. Feeding a person, you take your own fork and stick it in another person's mouth is a very intimate thing.
You
You
stick it
know,
where? Where'd you stick it at? Oh, okay. The other
there you
person's
go.
mouth. Well, I mean, you know what? Yeah, that is intimate. That actually is very intimate. Yes, it is.
Because you feeding somebody, you're looking into their eyes, then you're wiping their mouth and all that. And I don't think Kat appreciated that at all. And I knew she wouldn't. I knew she
Mm,
wouldn't.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah, I said that too. Cat is not gonna like this. So, Jasha, um, moving on back to Jasha, he gets back home and he's watching Joya doing her downward dog, which is okay. This show.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
he walks in right on that, looking at her in that pose, and right from the right angle too. So
That was set up. That was set
right,
up big
that was,
time.
that was a setup. So he shows her. They go into the bedroom and they sit down, and he shows her his new candle, and he shows her that his candle is called. His date named it Experience with an X. So
Uh,
she asked him, well, why did she name it that? And then he says, well, I don't really know, but he kind of starts to blushing. Um, he shares that his date was ready to settle down and that she wants to be with a man that she can learn from, and that also that the gray in his beard gives wisdom and experience. And then it was like, boom, that's when that's when Joya said, oh, okay, I get it. That's what she means by experience. And he was like,
mm,
yeah, he started blushing again. Yeah, that date was
yeah, because she like won't be no X over here, kind of thing. Which she don't really know that. She's hoping that's not the case, but he's enjoying himself with this young lady. He enjoyed that date. He
mm,
enjoyed that date.
he did. He did. Okay, so then we move back over to Ricky. Ricky is smiling as he greets his girl Kat. He's back from his date, and she said, "Well, you like you had a good time." You could tell already. She's already like ticked off. And then he said, "Well, yeah, you want me to tell you it was a nice time." He said, "She said, well, what happened? Anything I need to know about?" And he said, "Well, yeah, she fed me. She tried to feed me." And she said, "Well, did you let?" And he said, "Yes." Oh, she was in her confessional talking about, all right, game on. Come on with
Mm-hmm.
it one. I can't wait to go on my date because I'm about to do some dirt. I was
Right.
like, see, now that's the exact wrong attitude that you're not supposed to have, I don't think. But this is what this process is for, right? To bring up all these emotions and all the troubles and the issues. So I guess if she's gonna be petty and be, tit for tat, we're gonna find out how that works out, right?
Yeah, this exercise is to strengthen your conflict resolution, you know, and
Mm.
to sit there and go, game on. Well, he know he crossed the boundary, but he told her. I mean, it was going to be on film anyway, but he told her, you know,
He
and
was honest. He was
he,
upfront. Yeah,
he
he
was
did a
honest and
little bit
upfront.
better. Can I say something? He did a little bit better, Alex. I think than actually who was it on the last day? Jasha, because Jasha, even though he talked about he enjoyed his date and she was beautiful, he told his woman that, but he didn't really tell her about that whole beard thing. I
No,
never really
he was dancing around a lot of stuff.
he danced around a lot of stuff, and I was like, when she actually sees that lady playing in his beard and him just sitting there allowing her to, I think she gonna have some issues with that.
Because even she said, "What went on this date? He's not telling me everything." She felt that. She sensed that. You know.
Mhm. Mhm.
hmm So
Yeah. And so, but back to Ricky and Kat. Yeah, she did not tell him that game on. She said that to us in a confessional, but he will find out. And then the last scene we have Dr. Stacey actually goes over to the new couple, Jasmine and uh Zay's home, and she meets with them and she sits down, and Jasmine begins to tell her, well, the problem is that one of his boys, we were discussing something, and he told me that he would slap the poop out of me or whatever. And
mm,
I was really hurt. I was really upset, and I didn't feel protected because my man, he did nothing about it. And then they said, well, yeah, I got with him or whatever, and I gave him a good blessing out, and he apologized to me, but he never did apologize to her,
hmm
and he never
yeah,
did. Zay, as a man, that's his good friend from childhood. He never did require that this man apologize to his woman, but yet and still, a couple of weeks later, he's back over to their home hanging out like nothing happened. I wouldn't have been. I
right.
wouldn't have stood for it. I couldn't have stood for it. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. He says he dealt with his boy man to man, but not to the point where he made his dude apologize to his woman. When you make him apologize to your woman, then the healing can begin. But he can't keep coming to your house and hanging out and eating your food and dapping you up and all that kind of stuff and never apologize to your lady because she feels slighted. She don't feel like she's important enough to be protected, to be apologized to. He got to fix that. He got to fix that.
Oh, I know one way I would have started with fixing it is he would have had came over to the house. I would have gave him one of them. You remember the movie The Help?
Yeah.
I
hmm
I would have gave him one of those desserts, and it would have had some help in it. You get what I'm saying? It would have been some chocolate pudding for him.
Oh goodness, that's disgusting. That's
Well,
disgusting.
I'm just saying, because you know what? And then for my man, we would not be active if I were the kind of girl to go over and live with a guy. We would not be active because I would be saying, well, call your friend over,
Mhm.
call your friend over for that. You
Let me
know.
ask you. Let me ask you this, Aubrey. All
Hmm.
right. He didn't initially, right to this day, did not make his friend apologize to her directly. In his mind, he defended her honor by checking his boy and going through that whole thing. But the guy never apologized to her. Now, she's obviously still upset by this because she's crying and so forth. It still bothers her. So she's
Hmm.
she's like, why you never had him apologize to me? So after all this rigmarole, after all this time has passed,
Right.
if he goes now and make his friend apologize, to a woman's mind, is that too little, too late?
I don't have a high tolerance for men and their BS. So for me it would be, but I wouldn't still be with them anyway. Like I said, after I would have probably stayed around just long enough for his friend to come over and me to smile in his face and give him that help dessert with my little stuff in it. And then I would have texted him and let him know, and his boy, my man, like, yeah, he ate my So I hope it tasted good.
Mm,
Um, but no, I wouldn't. It would be too late. It would be too little, too late for me. But I would have stood on, I think sometimes as a woman, if you're going to be in these relationships with men, because, nobody's perfect, let's face that, and even we as women aren't perfect. I think that I would have stood my ground better. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You have to pull back with men that don't want to give you the benefit of 100% of their respect and their adoration and their affection and their protection. You have to pull back. So there's a lot of ways where she could have pulled back and still been in the relationship and let him know that she was serious. But a lot of times we let so many things as women, when we love a man, a lot of times we're willing to let things slide. I wouldn't have
Mm.
let that slide, because you're not going to, and then he's not going to come up in my house. And, and like I said, I'm feeling like uncomfortable with that. That's another reason why I would never want to live with another person that's not my husband, because a real man, a real husband is not going to allow anybody to come into his home that's been disrespectful to his wife and has not repented, has not asked for her forgiveness and been very remorseful about it. And then I think there still should have been, my personal opinion, there still should have been a referendum of he can't come over here for a good year. You know what I'm saying? I think
Mm.
sometimes you really have to teach people how to behave, because a lot of these grown folks are walking around here in the world and they just think they can say anything because because I'm blunt like that, I'm direct like that. Well, you know what, you're gonna be direct and not be over my house, okay?
Yeah, and I bet they were drunk, at the very least high, because
Ah,
that's just part of what they do. That's how they party, you know. So I guarantee you the guy was probably drunk when he said it. Not that it's an excuse, but that's the life they live. That's the life she chose to be involved in.
well, that may be the life of, yeah, and you're right. If she's with the guy, even if that's not how she gets down, that's the way her man gets down. Sometimes you got to learn that these people that are, getting high, drinking, whatever, and can't control themselves, you might want to leave them alone. I've never liked people like that, because to me, to be sloppy, drunk, and high, I just find that disgusting. But that's just
It-
me.
and, Aubrey, quick story. My one of my very very best friends. We've been friends most of my life, and he's been married to the same woman 30 plus years now. 5 children, 30 plus years. They've been married.
Okay.
And years ago, when they first started dating or whatever, she was kind of a nuisance, whatever. So I called her B a couple of times, not to her face, but in conversations with him. I called her B. I didn't like the way she was treating him at the time, stuff like that. So he
Okay.
he actually he actually came to me one day and he said, "Bruh, you can't call her B no more. That's dead. You can't do that, right?" And I was like, "You serious?" He's like, "I'm serious. Do not call her B no more. Now, this is my boy. We ride or die, okay?" And he
Right.
and he told me straight up, "Do not do it again." And I had to respect that.
Yeah.
And I never did it again. Out of his presence, I never did it.
Right. You
You
have to
know,
put your foot down, because, like I said, somebody like you at that time and point in time, you did not know how to speak about his woman to him. And
no,
he
I
had
did.
to teach you. Like, you think, and that's what I said when I talked to you before about this. We've had this discussion. A lot of these things that we're seeing, these problems with the men, are cultural issues that men have put upon themselves, that they are dominant, that they are special, that they can treat women any kind of way, including their own women, including their mothers, including their sisters. They don't think about it. They don't consider it. And they don't think about the fact that one day they're going to be a father, and they may be father of daughters and girls. So,
Right.
that whole idea that you could sit up there and call his woman a B, like, that's crazy to me. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Because
Yep.
me as a woman, on the flip side of it, me as a woman, even if it's my longtime friend from high school, grade school, or whatever, I'm never gonna sit up in her face and call her man a B, or he's an asshole, or this or that or other. I'm not gonna do that. A lot of times you have to, when people are going through and they're talking about their significant other, they really just want to vent. They may be even calling them names. Okay, let's just say that sometimes they may be calling them names, but that's their person. And the best
Right.
thing you can do is just sit there and let them vent. And then if you
Mhm.
catch some things where maybe you can ask a question or two for them to do some deeper reflection, you can say, "Well, have you thought about this, or have you thought about that?" Or, "Oh, I hear you, man. Okay, it'll be all right." Or, what I'm saying, because a lot of times, unless it's like some physical violence involved or something very heinous involved, tomorrow a week from now, they're going to be over it, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna have said something and put your foot in your mouth, and now they're not cool with you anymore.
Yeah.
So that's
Through a lot of trial and error, Aubrey, I had to learn that. is that a lot of times when my people will come to me to vent, it doesn't mean they want your opinion. It just means they're venting. They want you to hear them for this moment. Let them get it out. But I was always under the impression when I was younger, okay, you coming to me with this, you must want to know what I think. No, they don't want to know what you think. They already know
No.
what the problem is. They just getting it out.
Yeah, yeah. It's two types of you're right. So they're coming to you to vent, and until and unless somebody specifically says, "Hey Alex, hey Aubrey, what do you think I should do?" or whatever,
Right,
and then even then you venture into it gingerly, like,
right,
um, okay, I hear what you're saying. Do you really want my opinion? And just venture into it gingerly and try to encourage them to maybe communicate better, whatever, whatever, right?
right.
Unless you got, like, I have girlfriends who I know that know me well enough that when they bring it to me and they genuinely ask me what I think, I can genuinely, the first time off the rip, tell them no holds barred what I think. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not calling the guy out his name either, though, the significant other. I'm not calling him out his name, but I'm gonna tell him, I'm gonna say, well, he did this and this and this, and sounds to me like maybe he's a player. And have you looked at this and this and this and this, and go through a checklist and
Right,
whatever. But I can be real with them. But most, if it's somebody I don't really know, a coworker, for example, I'm not gonna tell them what I really think.
right,
They don't really
right.
want to know. They, like you said, they're just venting. Read what Monique says, though. We're gonna hurry up and get on out of here for our next live. But read what Monique says on the screen.
Yeah, Moni King says, yeah, guys, we'll start off calling the jump off a B together until one catches feelings. Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Hmm. And that,
Mm-hmm.
again, cultural thing where some black men, they like to call women, all women, bees. So like I said, to me, that's nonsense. So you kind of starting from a deprivation. You starting at a -10 already. Your culture, your behavior is nasty. It's malignant. It's cancerous. And then,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, you already got this behavior, but because you live in a community and a culture that applauds that, you don't think anything of it. But not everybody talks like that. Not everybody thinks like that.
Mm-hmm.
V says, yeah, one of them probably already caught feelings and called her a B. So yeah.
But yeah,
And then you gotta
yeah.
remember, sometimes these men are calling your women names, and out of their name, sometimes they're jealous of you in that relationship. That's another thing. Just like women can be jealous of their girlfriends and their girlfriend's man, there's a whole lot of men. And I noticed that a long time ago as a teenager. There are a whole lot of men that don't want their boys to have a woman she's cute that maybe they tried to talk to but couldn't talk to, but she likes their boy. So I mean, hey.
Or or they don't have as much access to him now because he has a woman to look after. So they don't have as much access. So they're upset about it.
Quick story. We're gonna really, for real get out of here. Quick story. One of my true loves to this day is still one of my good friends. We were engaged to be married. He used to do this thing after we gotten together and he got comfortable with me and we kind of settled in. We've been together for a little while. He used to do this thing where he would start a fight, pick a fight with me on Thursday, so that on Friday he could hang out with his boys, and then by Saturday he bringing me flowers and we're making up, right? And my girlfriend had to turn me on to it because I was just so naive. I didn't know what was going on. And she said, "Girl, you ain't caught on to this pattern. This is every single stinking week. He going out with his boy. He picking a fight with you over the trifling this thing, and you falling for it, and you getting upset, and y'all, fussing at each other. I'm mad. I'm mad. He mad or whatever. And we hang up and we not talking. So Friday night he gets to go drinking with the boys. She was like, "Yeah, okay, try it. Let him try it this Thursday." So sure enough, Thursday came. He tried to pick a fight, and I was just, "Oh, baby, that's all right. Whatever you say, baby." I was just a sweet, even though I didn't really want to be. I was just playing it off to see what he was gonna do. I was like, "Oh, hey, baby, no problem." I said, "What time you picking me up tomorrow night?" And he was so outdone. The next night he did pick me up. It was Friday, and I told him, I said, "I'm on to you. I'm on to you, you mother scudder." We both had a good laugh, and he never tried that ever again. So you gotta really look at your men and watch their patterns, because people have patterns, and if they're
Mhm.
always picking a fight on a certain time of the week or anything crazy like that, yeah, he wanted to hang out with the boys, but I let him know. I said, "Now you got a choice. You can hang out with the boys, once or twice a month, or maybe in the middle of the week. But my nights when I can go out, because these are the days that I'm off, or the nights that I don't have to go to work the next day, is Friday and Saturday." And at that point, we were still new in a relationship, so I expect to see you Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday for breakfast. So what?
Mhm.
You
Right.
got to problem with that, then you don't meet the criteria to be my man. So let me know now. We can cut this thing off. And he chose me over them. So we laugh about that. But that was so funny because he tried to pick that fight with me, and I refused. I was like, yeah, baby, whatever you say, baby. Yeah. Okay, what time you pick me up tomorrow night for our Friday hangout?
So
That fixed him so good.
there's all kind of game out here, Aubrey. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, all kind of game. Guys, we're gonna get on out of here. We have enjoyed you. We're glad that you came and hung out with us. Again, if you're checking us out on the replay, please like it, like the video, subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet, and then also please leave a comment. And you can do that now, even if you're here in the chat. You can go afterwards and leave us a comment. We really would appreciate it, guys. You guys have a great night. We'll see you at 9 p.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna go beautify for Jamie and Irena.
Oh my God, I can't believe the beautiful Irene is going to be in the house. That lady is so gorgeous. She is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, okay. Thank you for being here. I want to give a special shout out and thanks to our moderators extraordinaire. That's both Monique King and LMV, the illustrious LMV. We thank you. We love you guys, and we'll check you out at 9 o'clock p.m. We'll be back. Bye
Love
now.
you. Love you.
Love you.